So recently, there was a girl on Instagram who reached out to my boyfriend. It ended up being a fake account, but before we realized it was someone trolling, we both believed this girl, who was relatively attractive, was coming on to him very aggressively. In her messages, she told him that she would be visiting our town in 2 weeks. That said, before we found out the account was fake, he was talking about how a lot of high-value men have multiple side chicks and the following below. I just hope you understand. I am biologically wired to sleep with as many good-looking women as possible. I would like to be appreciated for suppressing that urge. When I pushed back on that biologically wired comment, he said the following: "Better be on your best behavior these next 2 weeks, Victoria, I swear to God." I'm at a loss for words. I was so upset, and he basically said a lot of other men would cheat in his position, and that I should appreciate his loyalty. I believe loyalty is the bare minimum in a relationship. It was my birthday that morning, and he bailed because his sleep schedule is all messed up, and I didn't give him a hard time. I was kind and kept my tears to myself as I was driving to the beach alone. Is this true? Should I really feel lucky that he didn't cheat? And what about the behavior comment? How am I supposed to feel secure in this relationship when he's essentially saying if I irritate him, he will just take up that opportunity, the opportunity that ended up being fake? I don't know. Now for an update, July 18th. Hi everyone, I want to give you all an update and clear up a few things. First, I want to sincerely thank you all for taking the time to respond to my post. It seriously opened my eyes. I can't explain it, but it was like something switched in my brain. I sat in the parking lot outside of Aita for hours, just rereading the comments over and over again. I was scared to post this at first, and I was about to delete it because he is active on Reddit, but I'm glad I didn't. Your experiences and words taught me a lot and made me realize I was dating an actual sexist. To answer some questions, no, we don't live together, and we've been dating for almost a year. Some of you have made comments on why I put up with this, and if I were high value, I would have left. And I can't say I blame you for thinking that. I guess I'm just naive. I don't really have anyone. I grew up in a really strict Catholic household, was very sheltered, and my dad passed when I was a kid. Both my parents are immigrants, so I spent my entire 20s just working and going to school. I was with one man before him, and he broke my heart to sleep around after 5 years. It took me 3 years to date again, so when I finally did, I met this guy, and he was great at first. He wasn't like this in the beginning. However, as I was reading through the comments and reflecting on our relationship, I started to remember the sly comments he made that went right under my nose and affected me without me realizing. After my post, before I read the comments, I went back to talking to him, and he just doubled down. I realized he doesn't respect me because I'm a woman, and if I stick up for myself, he calls me argumentative and says I give him no peace. Before I get ahead of myself, I'll give you a brief version of how that conversation went below. First, I got really mad and said, "Why do you keep bringing up the fact that you should be appreciated for being loyal? Should you appreciate me for being patient and understanding of the fact you're without a job? A lot of women wouldn't put up with that, and instead of appreciating that I'm really understanding, you kick me when I'm down and ruin my birthday." He then responds and says, "Oh yeah? How would you feel if I said, you are overweight and expect me to appreciate you? If anything, you should appreciate how patient I have been with your weight." This broke me. For context, I'm 5 feet 3 inches, 135 pounds, 36B, 29W, 39H. I'm not skinny, but I don't think I'm overweight. That's besides the point though. When he said that, I said, if I'm so overweight and there's nothing to appreciate about me, then just leave. He says, "I appreciate that I'm the second guy you slept with." I haven't responded since. This reminded me of all the times he would say how I'm an exception, because women my age are usually a lot more experienced, and he wasn't sure about me because of my age at first, and that every guy knows this deep down, they just won't say it to my face. I'm crying as I type this because I realize how much he's made me hate myself and how depressed he's made me. I look in the mirror and I feel fat, ugly, and old. I hide my face from crowds when I commute to work because I'm scared men will look at me and think, she's hit the wall. He's messed with my psyche, and I should have left sooner. But I have bad attachment issues, and it may be due to my lack of experience. However, reading the comments gave me hope and strength, despite this empty darkness I feel inside. That's how he's made me feel. Dark inside and hopeless, like I'm nothing more than what's between my legs and youth. Also, I read through every single comment, and I'm sorry if I didn't respond to all of them. I've just been taking it all in instead. Especially reading comments from men saying he's a jerk and not agreeing with him helps me a lot, and teaches me that not all men are like this. I just happened to get involved with a jerk. Some of you mentioned going no contact, and I'm taking your advice and have already started going no contact. One lady mentioned how a boyfriend said something similar to her, and he ended up cheating. Thank you for sharing your experience. That comment got to me and snapped me out of my stupor. I've already started no contact since 6 p.m. It's now 11 p.m. here. I'm sticking to it. I'm ready to love myself and know my worth. I never realized how worthless I felt. I became so depressed I would drive with no music on, forget showers, and just rot. I feel pathetic for admitting that, but I'm admitting this so I can go back to this post and remember how low I felt. Thank you all for your advice and for waking me up. I never knew all it took was me reaching out to strangers on the internet. Gives me hope in humanity. Thank you all. Please don't delete any of your comments, as I will be coming back to this post a lot as I begin the healing process. Now for an update. July 19th, I am going to start therapy. After work, I am going to look for a therapist near me who accepts insurance. When I would wake up in the middle of the night last night, I came back to this post to read your comments, and I can't express how thankful I am. Every single comment hit, and I feel like you all snapped me out of whatever I was in. I realize and am realizing more and more that my mindset is not normal and that I have very, very low self-esteem. It explains why people at work would ask if I was okay out of nowhere. They must see it on my face. I am also wondering if I do have some sort of body dysmorphia, based on some of the comments. On another note, I woke up and was so happy to see more people respond because it just gave me more and more strength to keep no contact. Before reading the comments this morning, I woke up feeling sad and just empty. But I forced myself out of bed and made it on the train on time for work. I could have worked from home, but I knew it wouldn't do me any good to sit home alone with my thoughts. I came back to my post on the train, and I swear I feel more light come back into me the more comments I read. I wish I had friends like you all back at home, but maybe it's good that my identity is hidden so I can work on myself and not catch the attention of manipulators. I looked up emotional abuse based on your comments, and I do believe I was being emotionally abused by him and my previous partner. Part of me is concerned for myself because I'm 29, and I'm just now learning a lot when it comes to relationships, personalities, and people, basically anything outside of work. But I won't be hard on myself anymore. At least I will try not to. Thank you all. I love you all so much. Victoria. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. OP. The only people I've ever heard use the phrase high-value men have been raging misogynists who were also scumbags. From those I know well enough to say, they were all also cheaters, or people who would cheat if ever given the opportunity. I mean, seriously, the guy is trash. Just dump him and be so glad he showed you who he truly is. That scammer just did you the biggest favor of your life. Comment 2. Ew. Throw that entire man away. Behaving like a toddler having a tantrum with no adult accountability, self-respect, or self-control. Gross. You know you deserve to be adored, respected, and cared for, right? Your function in life is not to assist and please men like some sort of demand robot. Now for the update. The day after I decided to cut ties with my ex-boyfriend, my sister texted me asking if I was okay. Apparently, she saw my ex out at a local bar with some friends, which I thought was super weird since he knew I was struggling. I told her everything that happened and how I was just trying to move on. My sister suggested we have a girls' night to distract me, so we planned to go to this popular pizza place. It had been a while since I had some good pizza, so I was totally in. So there we are at dinner, and my sister brings up this recent party where she saw my ex flirting with another girl. I mean, seriously, he couldn't even wait a week. My sister insisted that I should be careful, especially since he had been acting strange lately. I decided to take her advice and just focus on myself instead of stressing over him. I was done with all his drama. The next week, I started this new fitness class to meet people and work on my confidence. Honestly, it was an awesome workout, and I was loving it. I met a few friendly faces in the class and we started hanging out after sessions. One of the girls, Mia, was really cool and invited me to a beach bonfire with her friends. I agreed to join and just have some fun. At the bonfire, I overheard a conversation about a recent breakup, and I heard someone mention my ex's name. I leaned in closer to catch more details and realized they were talking about how he was seeing someone else. I mean, really? This guy just doesn't stop. I excused myself from the group and called my sister, telling her what I just heard. She was just as shocked and suggested I confront him directly. But I wasn't ready for that. I decided to gather more info first. I started following this girl on Instagram, keeping an eye on her posts for any clues. A few days later, I saw a photo of her at a party wearing the same shirt my ex had posted a picture in. Okay, that's it. I decided to show up at the next party my sister told me about. I told my sister about the plan, and she was totally down to come with me for support. The night of the party, I wore this bold outfit that made me feel super confident. I wanted to show him what he was missing. When we arrived, I spotted my ex across the room, just laughing it up with this girl. I mean, the nerve. I approached him, and he looked shocked to see me there. He tried to play it cool, but I could see he was nervous. I asked him directly about the girl, and he just stammered through this explanation that made no sense. My sister chimed in, recalling everything I had shared with her about his behavior. He just stood there with this confused look on his face. The girl overheard us and turned to defend him, claiming they were just friends. Yeah, right. I calmly pointed out the photo of them together from the party, and you could feel the tension in the air. My ex's friends started whispering, clearly uncomfortable with the whole situation. I decided to take it up a notch and just called him out for his disrespect. The girl tried to laugh it off, but I firmly stated that he was not a good boyfriend. My ex's friends started backing away, leaving him exposed in front of everyone. I mean, what were they gonna do? Defend him? I turned to leave, feeling like I had just ruined his night. I spent the next few days hanging out with my new friends from the fitness class. They were just awesome and made me forget about him for a while. I received a message from Mia inviting me to another event, which I gladly accepted. The night ended with my friends and me planning a weekend getaway, leaving him out of my thoughts completely. Honestly, it felt amazing just focusing on myself and surrounding myself with people who actually cared about me. I knew I was going to be okay, and he was just a bad memory now. Edit. My ex had been seeing the other girl for over a month. Confronting him helped me see my worth. I moved on. Am I the idiot for calling out my boyfriend's hypocrisy after he criticized my weight but was seen with someone else? Am I the idiot for telling my partner I might not be home when they get back after they fat-shamed me and acted suspicious? Posting this with a weird gut feeling, but I need to know if I'm being crazy. I've been with my current partner for 4 years, lived together for 3, and as this year has passed, I've been struggling with how I feel about our relationship. The first couple of years were fantastic bedroom-wise. I have a high intimacy drive, so I would gladly initiate, and everything was fun. Since we've met, I've gained a visible amount of weight, but nowhere near an unhealthy amount. I'm fairly satisfied with my body shape now, and I feel my weight gain reflects my comfort. My partner does not share the same thoughts. He's been very verbally upset with my weight gain, has signed me up for a gym, bought me weight loss supplements and products, and a Fitbit to track my activity levels. I've been working out because it made him happy, and I've been enjoying building muscle, but it has just made me bigger, and he's not enjoying it. He tends to make jokes about how if he could turn back time to how I looked before, if he could have said no to us moving in together, etc. And despite his insistence that I'm perfect, he keeps commenting on my looks and how he'd change it. I've tried many things in the past year. Sexy lingerie, date nights, initiating in all the ways I can, and he continually has been rejecting me. It hurts to have the person you love most push you off, even when you just want to make out or get a hug or a kiss. He'll excuse himself as being tired or needing the bathroom, etc. I offered to buy us toys to try, as I feared he was getting bored, but I think that just made it worse. He refuses to tell me why he's not interested, just goes, "I'm not in the mood as often as you are." But after a year, I feel he's not being honest. I'm at my wit's end, struggling to feel satisfied and don't want to push his boundaries when he clearly isn't interested, but I'm just so hurt by how he reacts. Should I keep trying, or is this a genuine lost cause? If I keep trying, what can I do to revive our intimacy life? To add, because I remembered commenting will not show people my thoughts. 1. I am actively working on my health. I care about how my body feels and how my health is. I do not mind that I have gained a little weight and a lot of muscle from this. For the metrics people, I initially gained 20 kilograms and have stayed at that weight since. My body shape has changed significantly though, due to changed habits. I am enjoying lifting more than cardio, for example. And I have gotten more masculine than he prefers. 2. I have tried to sit down openly with him multiple times, but he is unwilling to talk to me about bedroom stuff and gets upset if I push it further. I decided to stop trying to have that conversation since it clearly wasn't helping. 3. To the people asking if I'm that scared to be alone, why don't I just leave? Why haven't I left yet? For a long time I was convinced I could fix this by doing what he wanted. It is now obvious I cannot. I also didn't want to jeopardize our living situation in case I was being hysterical, which is what I had convinced myself I was. I'll be sitting him down and trying to talk this through like adults. I'm not ashamed to admit I posted on here for affirmation, yes, but also to see if opposing opinions would sway my decision to speak with him about our relationship. It didn't, which in my mind is proof that I was right in not feeling okay with this. I wanted to keep the focus directly on what has been my biggest issue, which is why I hadn't included any information other than our intimacy life and the fitness issue. I appreciate you all for speaking your truth, even if not all of it was very nice to read. The unfiltered nature is exactly why I went on here in addition to talking to friends. No one here knows me or cares enough about my feelings to not be honest, whereas my friends will always take my side even if I'm in the wrong. Thank you all. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Here's the bottom line. You cannot negotiate intimacy attraction. Most people in the world do not want to have intimacy with me. They do not find me attractive in the ways that matter to them. I'm not offended. I am very happy that my wife finds me attractive in the ways that matter to her, and I find her extremely attractive in all the ways that matter to me. You have two options. You can end this relationship so that you are both free to find relationships with people you are attracted to and who find you attractive, or you can do what you are able to do to become attractive to your current partner. There is no guarantee. It may never come back. Comment 2. My girlfriend and I recently watched a movie about how a man proposed to his girlfriend and said he would only follow through with the marriage if she lost enough weight to go from about a size 18 to a size 12. It was a funny movie to us, but that would be a terrible reality to live out. Don't wait for our jokes to be your life. Leave now. Now for the update. I'm back with an update, and wow, things have gotten intense. So here we go. First off, the partner totally ignored my concerns about our intimacy issues. Like, seriously? I said I was feeling neglected, and they were just like, "You're overreacting." Overreacting? No idiots here. It's called having basic needs that aren't being met. And get this, their genius suggestion was for me to just work on myself. Like, excuse me? I thought relationships were about working on things together, not just leaving one person to deal with it alone. Anyway, things only got worse from there. We were at a friend's house for dinner one night, and out of nowhere, they made another rude comment about my appearance, right in front of our friends. I was so embarrassed. My friend looked uncomfortable and tried to change the subject, but I could tell they didn't know what to say. Honestly, I was just done. I realized it was time for me to start focusing on my own interests and hobbies, because clearly no one else was going to do it for me. So I signed up for this local art class to reconnect with my creative side. It felt good to do something for myself and not just be a side character in someone else's life. One evening, the partner asked why I was spending so much time away. Surprise, surprise, they accused me of avoiding them and being selfish. I mean, I was avoiding them, but it's not like they were trying to see me either. Fast forward to the next weekend, and I went to a family barbecue. The partner refused to go, saying they had plans with friends instead. Convenient, right? So at the barbecue, my mom asked why the partner wasn't there. I just shrugged it off and changed the subject to my art class because honestly, I didn't want to explain everything to my family. A few days later, I got this message from my sister saying she saw the partner out at a bar with someone else. My stomach dropped. They had mentioned being out with friends, but of course, they didn't say anything about a bar. My sister even asked if it was with me, but I told her I wasn't there. I was just like, no, I was at a family barbecue. A few days after that, while we were out grocery shopping, I found a receipt for a restaurant that we had never been to before. I was like, what the heck is this? When I confronted the partner, they casually said it was a work lunch. But the timing seemed off, you know? They had a meeting the next day for the same client. A few days later, while the partner was in the shower, their phone buzzed. I know I shouldn't have, but I glanced at the screen and saw a message from an unknown number. The message had a heart emoji, and I just felt this knot in my stomach. Like, what the heck? A family gathering was planned for the next weekend, and I decided right then that I was going to confront the partner afterward. I needed to know what was going on. So at the family gathering, the vibe was just so awkward. There were all these unspoken issues hanging in the air. My dad made this toast about love and commitment, and it felt so ironic with everything going on. I wanted to laugh, but it just wasn't funny. After the gathering, I caught a glimpse of the partner texting someone in a corner. When they saw me, they seemed annoyed and demanded to know what was wrong. I just asked who they were texting, and that's when things blew up. The partner started accusing me of being paranoid, and I was like, no, I'm being cautious because you've given me every reason to be. They stormed off, leaving me standing there outside, feeling totally defeated. So yeah, that brings us to now. I'm still trying to process everything, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. Edit. The partner didn't come home that night, which was just the icing on this messed up cake. The next morning, I texted them about needing to talk, and they finally came back in the afternoon. When they walked in, I noticed they were still wearing the same clothes from the day before. I asked if they had gone straight to bed after leaving, and they dodged the question. So I just came out and asked if they were cheating on me. The partner went off, saying I was being dramatic and insecure. I showed them the text I saw, and they claimed it was just a work friend. I told them I knew about the restaurant receipt and the bar with my sister, and they just got angry, saying I was being controlling. They avoided answering the cheating question. I told them that I needed to think about things and might not be there when they got home later. I also told them I had to tell my sister and mom what was going on just in case. Am I the idiot for blocking my mom and her creepy boyfriend after he wore my bikini bottoms? Am I the idiot for blocking my mom and her creepy boyfriend after he wore my bikini bottoms and sent me a hurtful message? Last night, a 26-year-old female, was staying at my boyfriend's, a 28-year-old male, house when I was messaging my mom, a 61-year-old female. Out of the blue, she said that she and Brock, a 63-year-old male, my mom's boyfriend, did something funny, but that I was going to be mad. I asked what she did, and she sent me 3 photos of Brock in one of my bikinis that I had worn the day before. I had left the bikini on the back porch to dry, so I know it was used. I told my mom I was upset and that they shouldn't have done that. I got upset with my mom because, 1, I just find that really inappropriate and disgusting. If it had been just the bikini top, I don't think I would mind, but him wearing my used bikini bottoms seems really gross. 2, this person is not my stepdad. He has been dating my mom for maybe 5 years. He has made intimacy jokes toward me before, which I have always complained about to my mom, but she brushes it off. 3, she told me she knew I wouldn't want to wear the bikini after this and said she was prepared to buy me a new one. But I love that suit, and I won't be able to buy the same one again as it's years old. I know it's just swimwear, but still. Now I have to throw away something I love because of their joke, and I didn't get a choice in the matter. Another thing is that generally, I have an issue with people using and taking my things that stems from some control issues. 4. I think it's so weird to send basically naked photos of Brock to me, where I can see everything in my bottoms. I told my mother I was upset, uncomfortable, and frustrated, and explained everything above. She got defensive and said I was overreacting, that it was just a joke, and to let it go. Brock then messaged me and said, "It's a bathing suit. This is why you have no friends. You can't laugh at stuff. Grow up." To me, this really crossed the line. He said this on purpose to hurt me. I forwarded his message to my mom, who then told me, "Enough, stop messaging me." I told her they were acting like high school bullies and they had no right to turn around and get mad at me for being upset. She told me to stay at my boyfriend's house for a while and not come home. This is the part that is really upsetting to me. I'm not a parent, but I don't think I would ever tell my child that they are not welcome in their home over being upset about a situation like this. So now I am imposing on my boyfriend and staying at his place. My boyfriend is an angel and totally understands where I'm coming from, and is also upset at how my mother is acting. To add, I blocked both my mom and her boyfriend for the time being. I am just so at a loss. I don't know what to do. I probably did overreact, but my boyfriend says it's understandable that I feel weird about the situation. I feel like I am allowed to get upset and express that I am upset. And I am upset that my mom's response is to get defensive and then tell me not to come home. Even if I were to apologize, I just can't wrap my head around apologizing to them for being upset about something they did. I am posting this to see if I am overreacting and if I need to apologize for being too sensitive, or if there is a way I can calmly explain to my mom how what she did, the bathing suit and telling me not to come home, was not okay to do as a parent. For some context, I have 2 siblings, and one is no contact while the other is low contact with her. She always puts the guys in her life above her kids, and I feel like I am at my breaking point. She's done this kind of thing before. For example, 1. I once asked her to spend my birthday with me. I just wanted to get Chinese and watch movies. She said no because she had a bocce ball tournament that day with him. I did something with friends instead and found out a few days later they didn't even go to the game because they were so hungover from the night before. So obviously it wasn't that important. Anyways, I am hoping for some perspective. Maybe I am overreacting and I need to apologize, and my perspective is too harsh and I do need to grow up. Or maybe someone can provide some insight into what to say to her and what to do going forward. I know either way I need to move out soon. It's just that money is tight and neither my partner nor I can afford it. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. What they did was really disgusting. Your mother sickens me. She's helping her boyfriend sexually harass you in a very intimate way because he's wearing swimwear that is yours and has been recently worn by you. You do not owe her an apology. She has a history of prioritizing herself, so even if you try to address this with her, you need to be prepared for her to act like a child and ignore it all and try to turn it around to make herself the victim. She's 10 years older than me, and she's so immature and inappropriate that I feel embarrassment reading this. I also feel rage because I would never tell my children not to come home, nor would I prioritize my partner over my children, and he's their father. He would do the same, as it should be. Lindsay C. Gibson, PsyD, has 2 books on the topic of emotionally immature parents. I highly recommend them. I found them extremely helpful in dealing with my immature parents who are in their 70s. I ended up going no contact because their antics and abuse were really egregious, and they couldn't take any criticism on board and change. As for the swimwear, you can soak it in white vinegar. It's safe for swimwear, it removes stains and odors, and will sterilize it. I totally understand if you'd rather throw it away. Comment 2. Their behavior is so gross. I think it's clear they're unwilling to grow up, and that waiting on them to change and acknowledge their wrongdoing is not a good idea. I would focus on other people in your life instead of giving them any more energy. Now, for the update. 2 weeks have passed since the whole Brock bikini thing. Everything is just fine. I'm still at my boyfriend's apartment, which is starting to feel like my temporary hideout. My mom has texted a few times asking if I'm okay and suggesting we talk. I ignored all those messages because honestly, keeping my distance is the best move for now. One day, I got this random package at my boyfriend's place. Not expecting anything, I'm like, what now? Inside the package were my bikini bottoms and a note from my mom. The note said, "You overreacted. This is ridiculous." Like, wow, thanks for that, Mom. My boyfriend, being the supportive guy he is, suggested we spend a weekend at his family's lake house to chill and relax. Great idea, right? While we were there, we ran into one of his parents' friends who knows Brock. Of course, she casually mentions that Brock is hosting a barbecue the following weekend. Great, just what I needed to hear. My boyfriend's face immediately changed when Brock was mentioned. He started recalling comments Brock made about me in the past, and let's just say, it wasn't exactly nice. Brock can be a real jerk, and even my boyfriend can't stand him. Later on, I got this group invite from my mom about the barbecue. She wrote that it would be a chance for everyone to clear the air. Clear the air? Really? My boyfriend was super against me going, reminding me just how uncomfortable I felt around Brock. But you know me, always wanting to face the situation. So the day of the barbecue arrives, and I decide to go anyway. When I got there, I noticed that Brock was already making his usual inappropriate comments to the guests. My mom greeted me with a hug, looking way too cheerful and trying to act like there was no tension. Then there was Brock, smirking at me and making a comment about my comedic bikini incident. I lost it. I told him to back off and that his jokes weren't funny. The mood shifted and everyone fell silent, staring at the scene. Of course, my mom had to jump in, defending Brock and insisting he was just trying to lighten things up. My younger sister, who was also there, tried to change the subject, sensing how bad this was getting, but it just got worse. Brock called me sensitive, and my mom told me to leave if I couldn't handle it. I grabbed my stuff and said I was done with the barbecue and the whole situation. My mom yelled after me, calling me ungrateful and saying I was ruining family events. I mean, seriously? My boyfriend was waiting in the car, looking relieved that I left early. We drove off, and I felt this sense of closure wash over me. I finally realized I'm done with all this drama. Later, my mom sent me this angry message, accusing me of cutting ties and abandoning the family. Like, excuse me, but I didn't sign up for this nonsense. Then I got another message saying that Brock would always be part of the family. My boyfriend saw how serious things had become and suggested we look for a new apartment together. I'm seriously thinking about it. Mini update. After the barbecue, my mom sent more messages, including an invitation to a family wedding without Brock. I was surprised but also relieved. My boyfriend and I have been apartment hunting, and it's going well. We're excited about this new chapter and grateful for the positive changes in our lives. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.